Warrior, what the HELL is going on with Congress? It may be the holiday season, but you know what? We at the Warriors, we never give in, we never give up. We keep speaking out 24/7, 365. And I know not everybody can do that, but that's why we're the Warriors and we're here to help you. But I want you to understand something as we go into 2026. What is going on? Recently, the House, so part of Congress, right? They lumped a whole bunch of child safety legislation bills together. Now, we've been working, and if you're a follower of the Warriors, and I know you are, we've been working on the Kids Online Safety Act for 4+ years with, parents, with organizations, with people in the government, really working hard to create a bipartisan piece of legislation that would hold big tech accountable. Finally, that they would take some of the heat, so to speak, for allowing all the harms that we know happen to our kids. It happened to all of us, but we're focused on kids right now at the Warriors. And these dangerous algorithms, this content, whether it's cyberbullying, definitely predation, definitely allowing, grown-ups to slide into the DMs, the direct messages of children, definitely no transparency from these big tech companies. Just running amok, okay? So now we have Kids Online Safety Act lumped in with all these other 18 pieces of legislation. And you know what? The House has marked it up, taken out, whatever you want to call it, changed it, and taken out the one thing that was so important, and that was called duty of care. Duty of care, meaning big tech has a duty of care to find every reasonable way to protect kids online. That's the bottom line for that. Now, we never really thought we'd have problems with the Kids Online Safety Act because it just swimmingly passed through the Senate 91-3. So then it goes over to the House side, right, for a vote before it can be signed into law by the President of the United States. And it sat and it collected dust and it was stagnant and nobody had answers and nobody knew when it would get on a schedule. And of course, putting it on the schedule right before, announcing, I should say, it would go on the schedule right the day after everybody's returning or the day of, depends what your schedule is in Washington, what's happening during the Thanksgiving break. So it was announced right before Thanksgiving break. We're going to lump it together. And then we're going to have this hearing with this subcommittee, and therefore nobody has an eye on it. Nobody's really paying attention. Nobody has a chance, legislative aides, and even those members of Congress, to really study up and see what's going on. How do you present? 19 pieces of legislation in one hearing, okay? Basically impossible. You have why it's good, why it's not good. Basically, the bottom line for all of this is that what's going on is not good. Congress may be on recess right now for winter break, holiday break, Christmas break, whatever you want to call it, break. But we keep working at the Warriors. We think this is such an urgent issue because also there's another not as much talked about. We got to start talking about it more, and we are at the Warriors. It's called COPPA, COPPA, COPPA 2.0, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, that hasn't been changed since 1998. Basically, can't sell children's data, to third parties or collect their data, any of that. And with this is so shocking. Big tech wants to make digital adulthood ages 13. I should say age 13. Age 13, that is still a baby. They want to take out of COPPA that, parental oversight, parental involvement. They've got some kind of word salad going on, veritable guidance, something. You know what? I'm going to put the bill numbers, and I'm also going to put actually what these bills are so you can read about them. But we have to keep up the pressure, even during these holiday times when everybody's busy and just a couple of days to Christmas and everybody's hustling and bustling, because this is what big tech, and I dare say this is what Congress is counting on, that we don't keep an eye on the ball and they can get away with a lot of things where we're calling them out. So we've been urging everybody, and again, I'll put it in the body of the video, Kids Online Safety Act. It was minimally, a duty of care. Something, big tech, Do something. You're harming children. You're making trillions, billions. I don't even know what the number is. Dollars off of our children, off of the harm, off of the predation, right? Then flip it to COPPA 2.0. Hasn't been updated since 1998. We're talking almost 30 years. What is that about? So things are changing. What happened to America first? Our kids, our safety, our online. And now we're sitting in AI, artificial intelligence. It seems, I don't know to you, seems to me everything around us is AI. Whether I go on a Zoom, I see an AI companion. Whether I am writing something, I see something that says by the email, do you want AI help? I'm ordering something online, AI chat bots. Well, those have been going on for a while. It's all over infiltrating. And our concern is everything has been watered down by Congress. This is the most frightening. So what are we going to do about it? Sure, I can sit here and keep telling you how bad it is, and I think it is indeed bad. This is what we're dealt. So we have to speak up, we have to speak out, but we have to know the facts. We have to raise awareness, even with our own family members and our own communities, and especially the schools, because the administration right now also has announced they're going to have a K through 12 AI program so that kids can be on top of artificial intelligence. They can be global leaders. They can use it to their advantage. But I'm here to say, yes, there may be something to that. We always, in 2025, almost 2026, have to look at the flip side, the pros and the cons. And what I'm seeing coming out of Washington right now is just a lot of, pros, how great this is, how great marijuana is, great AI is, how great. I'm not seeing the flip side. So let's talk about that. Not one teacher I know across the country, parent or child understands what this AI program exactly is. There's some sort of contest going on. You can't just announce this to the country and have everything be a soundbite. That's kind of a PR glossy take on all of this. This is serious stuff. This is serious stuff. Everything I've heard in Washington, the answer always is when I say, about the AI, well, we have to have global dominance. Well, we have to be a leader. Healthcare. We know all that already. But nobody knows what the plan is for the education system. You have to have a full-on developed program. Why are announcements made without fleshing it out, vetting and having a program to hand to the schools and educators, to the parents, to the children, for the different ages? Again, it's K through 12. So everybody's prepared. Everybody's on the same page. So we have that going on. Now we've got our Kids Online Safety Act. And what I want to say about this is we feel so upset and disappointed for our survivor parents who have bravely come forward in the last several years, who have testified in front of Congress, who have marched peacefully together in front of Meta, in front of all of these, Apple, to share their stories because they say they must, because they don't want any other parent or child to go through what they went through because they didn't know things. And still, when I talk to people every day, they say, I didn't know that. Is that true? Because I never heard about that. We're here to tell you. You've got to step it up in your own home. If you have children or grandchildren, you must talk to them. Now, Kids Online Safety Act, what I want all of us to do, again, I have that and Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, the bill numbers in the body of this video. What you are going to do, it takes all of maybe 5 minutes. You are going to have the links, house.gov, senate.gov. You are going to find out who represents you, because a lot of people don't know, right? And you're going to, it'll give you, their emails, their office numbers, if you want to mail. But we ask you to call and we ask you to email at least, okay? If you're a real warrior, you'll also put a letter in the mail. But look, everybody's busy. Email and call. Call. When I tell you the offices are closed right now, I almost think all of this is an emergency and offices shouldn't be, because people were leaving. I was in Washington last week and people were leaving midweek last week for the, holiday break. A little early, right? But whatever. You can still leave a message right now if you call during this holiday break. And they do count and they do keep a log and it does go towards everything we are working on, okay? So for instance, you'll have the bill number. It'll be in the body of this video for both of these bills. You will leave a message, whoever, for instance, I am represented by Senator Gillibrand. So my message would be, this is Lynn Shaw, constituent, Lynn's Warriors, based in New York City. I urge you to support Kids Online Safety Act and COPPA 2.0. And that's it. Thank you for your attention to this critical and crucial matter. I mean, I'll put a little example in the body of this because it counts. And so while it's frustrating, and for us to look into the eyes of these warrior parents who've been so let down, will fuel us at the Warriors to do bigger and better. Will fuel us to work right through the holidays, right through the new year, so we can be coming out of the gate 2026, going right into even those who have supported in the past KOSA, COPPA 2.0. Let's return it to the Senate version that had the duty of care clause in it, right? Those three small words that meant so much. We want to urge our representatives to, even if they support it, urge their colleagues. Do you know what's going on in the House with this bill, how they watered it down? There's basically no protections for children. And urge their constituents. We need everybody on deck, right? This is important stuff. So we're going to go into 2026 very positive. We're going to get these meetings. We're going to have the public, our warriors, get on board with all of this. And we're going to talk to our kids open and honestly. Chatbots, character AI, chat companions, AI companions. These are machines. They are not your friends. It's very hard for young kids and even adults. We have stories pouring in to distinguish after a while. You know, you're playing around with somebody online, not to think when it's reacting to you or asking you how you feel or asking you what you like. It's hard to relate. This is not a real person. And especially a child, that young developing brain, they have a very hard time distinguishing between reality and not reality. We have work to do, but here's the good news. As I mentioned, we have so many parents across the United States stepping up, stepping out, coming together. We have great groups. I'm going to listen to the body of this video. I want you to follow them. Help them, support them, read what they write, share it. Let's leverage the internet for good. Share what they're putting on your platforms. We have Parents Rise. We have Parents SOS, okay? You need to be on top of this. I'm tired of people saying, I didn't know about that. And I leave you with, and there have been a few announcements coming out of warnings from the FBI, and more media, to their credit, are talking about it. But we at the Warriors started talking about this 6-8 months ago. This dangerous online group called 764. Now, I'll tell you what's so dangerous, because I had a conversation in Washington with somebody in law enforcement who really knows his stuff, and we were talking about this 764. You know, it's always described, whether it's in the media or it's the FBI, you know, as this organized kind of crime group. And it's kind of not. It's kind of a national security threat. It's just a bunch of horrific, hateful people that mostly don't even know each other, that are just, you know, jumping on, thinking it's funny to harm kids, to get kids to do things. Remember, those young developing brains, very persuasive. Getting little girls, you know, to cut their hair, harm their pets, siblings harm each other. And we're a family program. I think you know where I'm going with all of this. It's horrific, horrible, and kids are traumatized. And remember, this trauma is basically lifelong trauma, okay? So that is now a burden to our healthcare system, which is already burdened, and nobody truly, at least in my lifetime, really understands how it's all working with insurance and healthcare and this and that. And geez, again, I say, what happened to America first? So I had a couple of people reach out to me yesterday that I work with saying they're very disappointed. They feel fooled. They feel, disgusted. You know what? Here's what I like to say as a warrior. It is what it is. Not that I accept it, but that's what they're counting on. That we're not looking, that we're not talking up, that we're not gathering up other warriors to put things online, that will just be so overwhelmed and exhausted from all of this, will do nothing. And that's not the warrior way. So we're going to come together. We're going to honor our warriors, hashtag community creates change. We are going to understand, what is the Kids Online Safety Act? Why is it so important? What is COPPA 2.0, Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, and why that's so important. But how dare big tech and Congress agree to right now, so far, that kids are digital adults at age 13? Because they're not. You know it, and I know it. And again, why is big tech at the dinner table at the White House? Why is big tech allowed? Well, we know profit over people, but we're not accepting it. We're accepting being a warrior. We're accepting community creates change. Go into your schools after the holiday break. Find out, what are they doing about AI? Ask questions. Include your kids in the conversation. Whatever age they are. And remember, it's not them and us. We're building these partnerships. Be one with the community. Place of worship. Any kind of community house. Anywhere you go, work it in somehow to the conversation. Because this is the only way we can get ahead, by chipping away slowly, right? We're not going to be discouraged by what Washington is doing or our state capitals. Frankly, a lot of our state capitals have been doing terrific work as far as child safety, AI guardrails, and the federal government wants to just wash it all away and erase it, and we're not going to have any of that. So, as you're shopping and baking and cooking and with family and friends, we ask you to take a breath, listen to music, have some art. But while you're doing all of that, incorporate, because I know a lot of you go online during the holidays, right? Incorporate facts, truths. Follow the warriors, lynswarriors.org. Thank you for all of you out there who have supported us, who have sent us goods, services that we can pass on to our communities, because that is what our work is. We are here to travel to state capitals, to travel to Washington on your behalf, to bring you back the information, to create change in policy, add new policy to protect kids and families, and help you understand what's going on. Yes, it's dark and ugly at times, but you got me, you got the warriors, and you've got some good people working on all of this. So have faith, have hope. And again, kids are becoming very smart about all of this. The alpha generation, we have some studies coming out, born in 2010. So they're young kids that are like 15 at the most, going on 16, putting down the devices, going back and taking out actual library books, having no device days. We've got tons of schools in the bell-to-bell program, meaning no cell phones, including my home state of New York, during the day. So all of this is chipping away and helping with everything we talk about in the Warriors. Please make sure you follow and subscribe to our channel. It is free. It helps us get to the front of the superhighway. Please go to Lynn's Warriors on X, on Facebook, on Instagram. Look for a couple of things. Look for the interview I just did on WABC Radio on the Cats Roundtable, the national edition, which is every Sunday morning. I am part of that. I did an interview, a piece about marijuana. We're going to get into that a little bit, right? Because the marijuana, it's not the marijuana, it's the THC, the chemicals they're putting in the marijuana that are causing harms to children. Not only children, paranoia, vomiting, psychotic breaks, all kinds of things. Affects children, again, in those developing brains, but also adults. So I want you to go back, listen to that piece. It's on X, it's on my Facebook. Be aware. Talk to the kids. Don't believe the hype. Remember, online, it's hard during this holiday season. I'm seeing this one's at a party, and that one's at a party, and at a dinner, and at a fancy restaurant, and it looks all very glamorous, and you might feel left out. Think about the kids seeing all this stuff. If they're seeing their peers, online world is basically fake. Believe it or not, fake. Well, except for the warriors. So we stand with you. We're here to engage, educate, and empower you. You can always write to us, Lynn at lynswarriors.org. Make sure you keep some resources handy. Anything online, sexual dialogue, images, you contact immediately 911. You have to have a paper trail with kids. You also, cybertipline.org, cybertipline.org. Again, I'm going to put this in the body of the video. I want you to have your resources. But right now, we're going to enjoy the holidays, but we're going to hold Congress. They work for us. We pay taxes, accountable for what's going on with our kids. So join us in this bipartisan effort. Take action. Warriors movement to get Kids Online Safety Act reinstated back to the Senate version, and also No child at age 13 should be labeled a digital adult. What happened to 18 and under drinking and everything else? But the internet, the world, not on our watch. Join us. Remember, community creates change. And each and every day, we're going to do all of this together. We're going to go out and be.